Chapter 1. The marriage papers pen felt heavy in my hand. The form waited on the counter like a quiet trap. Applicant's name, the clerk said, tapping the line. I kept my face calm while my heart hammered. My name is Daniel, I said. I lied with a straight voice. It slid out to smooth. The clerk pushed another sheet toward me. Paper whispered. I wrote fast at first, then slower, shaping my brother's name like a thief forging a key. Everything true and correct. The clerk asked. Yes, I said. My phone buzzed. I didn't take it out. My mother had called 3 times already. She wanted me to wait for my brother. I was done waiting. Witnesses, the clerk said. I brought one. I waved at Amir near the door. He had warned me. Don't do this. Amir leaned close. Last chance. He whispered. I'm sure. I said. Just sign where they ask. He signed. His pen scratched. The ink looked like it could bleed. The clerk held out the last page. Bride's name remains the same. Yes. The word stuck. I had seen her once. Soft veil. Steady eyes. She thought she was marrying Daniel. I told myself I was saving everyone from my brother's talent for leaving. Reason for expedited filing. He asked. Family emergency. My father is sick. It wasn't a lie. Only a shard of truth. The other shards were dead and a brother who sent warm promises from cold hotels. He had said next month so many times the calendar felt like a joke. I bent over the page. My handwriting shook. Daniel, I wrote again. The name fit my hand. Amir touched my elbow. Say it, he said. Say why. So you hear? I asked. So you hear? He said. I kept my eyes on the ink. Because my father needs medicine, not plans. Because my mother needs sleep, not hope. Because vows should mean something. You don't even know her, he said. I know a vow. I said. A vow is a wall. I need a wall. The door opened. Wind rolled in. A couple came in laughing. The clerk stamped the page. ID, please. I slid Daniel's ID across the counter. My reflection flashed in the plastic. I hated the look in my eyes. My phone buzzed again. A text from my mother. Where are you? Daniel called. He said he will handle the papers next month. Come home. Next month. He would handle it when the fees doubled. When the landlord changed the locks. When the hospital demanded more. Next month was a trick door. I typed. I'm here. It's done. I didn't send it. Everything is in order. The clerk said, sign here, here, and here. I signed 3 times, each curve another step away from the boy I used to be. I thought of my father's thin breath, my mother's coin jar, my brother's suitcase. Amir exhaled. Call him now, he said. Tell him before this eats you alive. It already ate me, I said. I'm just choosing what's left. The clerk slid the stamp set into a folder, certified copy in 2 weeks. He said, congratulations. Thank you, I said. I carried the folder to the door. The room smelled like old paper. Air hit my face outside. I breathed. On the steps, Amir stopped me. Call her, he said. She deserves to hear from you. I can't, I said. Not yet. When I'm brave, I said, or when I have no choice. He looked at me. That day always comes. I know. We watched cars crawl by. The sky hung low. I felt like I was standing on thin ice, listening for the first crack. Amir rubbed his hands. You think this saves anyone? It keeps a promise, I said. Who's mine? I said. The one I make when I tell my father I won't let him drown. He sighed. I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong, I said. If I'm wrong, there was an easier path. He stepped toward the bus stop. Text me if anything goes bad. Everything already did, I said, alone. I pressed the folder to my chest. It felt warm, as if it held a heart that wasn't mine. My thumb was stained with ink, a small bruise that wouldn't wash off. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Congratulations, Daniel. I'll be there at 4 o'clock today. I typed before fear could stop me. I'll be waiting. I stared at the screen, then at the office door, then at the mark on my thumb. The wind made the papers tremble inside the folder, like a pulse. I'll be waiting, I said to the air, to the lie wearing my brother's name, to the future that had already started answering back. Chapter 2, Her Smile Before the Fall. Clock struck 4. I stood at the steps, folder tight in my hand, sweat cold on my back. Then she came. Her veil brushed her cheeks, soft as wind. She carried herself with calm pride, as if no storm could move her. For a moment, I forgot the weight of my lies. Daniel, she said. The name cut me. My tongue almost betrayed me. I forced a smile. Yes, I'm here. Her eyes brightened. She smiled, gentle, trusting. Dangerous you came, she said. I promised, I said. Though I hadn't, my brother had. She stepped closer. I was afraid you would leave like last time. Never, I lied. The word felt like glass in my throat. Her hand brushed mine. Warm, real, to real. Thank you, she whispered. I swallowed hard. Amir's warning echoed in my head. She deserves the truth. But I only said, shall we go inside? We entered the registry hall. The clerk from earlier raised an eyebrow, but said nothing. He passed us the final set of papers. Please confirm all details, the clerk said. Elena leaned over the forms. Her voice was calm, certain. It's perfect. My name. His name is all right. Her finger rested on Daniel. My stomach nodded. You trust him? The clerk asked. With my life, she said. Her words burned. My pen slipped slightly as I signed the last line. Outside, the sun broke through clouds. She laughed softly. It feels strange, doesn't it? Like the world should look different now. It does, I said. My voice was too quiet. She studied me. You look different, nervous. I'm fine. No, she said gently. You're hiding something. My chest tightened. She sees too much. Maybe I'm just scared, I said. Of me, she teased. No, I said quickly. Of failing. Her smile deepened. You won't. I'll stand with you. The promise wasn't hers to give. It wasn't mine to take. Yet I nodded. As we walked down the street, she told me stories, her childhood, her dreams, her hope for a future built on loyalty. Each word pressed against me like a weight I couldn't carry. You believe in vows? I asked. I believe in people keeping them, she said, even when it's hard. Her voice was soft but firm. It cut sharper than anger ever could. I looked away. What if someone can't? Then they never should have promised, she said simply. Her truth felt like a verdict. I stayed silent. We reached the small cafe where her family waited. Her mother hugged me. Her father clapped my shoulder. Their joy blinded them to the trembling in my hands. To new beginnings, her father said. To love, her mother added. I raised my glass. To love, I echoed. The word tasted bitter. Across the table, Elena smiled at me, bright, unguarded, whole. It should have been a blessing. Instead, it was a knife. Amir's message buzzed on my phone. Tell her, now. Before. It's too late. I slipped the phone back into my pocket. Too late had already arrived. The night, when we parted, she touched my hand again. Thank you for not breaking your word this time, she whispered. I forced a nod. I won't. But deep inside, I knew I already had. Her smile followed me into the dark, haunting, perfect, doomed. Chapter 3, Betrayal comes full circle. Days passed, then weeks. Every time Elena looked at me, I felt the ground thin beneath my feet. She carried so much trust in her gaze. I carried nothing but a mask. One evening, we sat together on the balcony. The night air was cool, the city below restless with voices and lights. She leaned against the railing, her veil pushed back, her face clear in the silver glow. Daniel, she said softly. The name always hurt. Yes, I whispered. She studied me for a long moment. When you held the papers, your hand shook. Why? I forced a laugh. Nerves. You know me. No, she said firmly. I don't know you. Not really. You've been different since the day. Quieter, distant, as if something's wrong. Her voice pressed against the cracks in my lie. I turned away. I've just had things on my mind. Tell me, she urged. Please. I wanted to, God. I wanted to throw the truth into the night air and let it scatter with the wind. But I couldn't later. I said, not now. Her silence cut deeper than anger would have. The next morning, Elena left early. No message. No note. Just absence. I tried to believe it was nothing. But hours passed. Then a day. Then two. My calls went unanswered. Finally, I went to her family's house. Her mother opened the door, her smile dim. She's not here, she said. Where is she? I asked. She said she needed space. Her mother looked down. She looked hurt, as if she knew something she couldn't say out loud. My chest clenched. She didn't tell you? Her mother shook her head. She only said, I was blind. But not anymore. The words struck like a blade. I stumbled away. Amir met me outside. She knows. He said flatly. My throat went dry. How does it matter? He asked. The truth always finds its way out. I grabbed his arm. Maybe she's mistaken. Maybe he pulled free. No, you wanted to save your family. Instead, you destroyed hers. What did you think would happen? I had no answer. Only the sound of my own heart breaking. 3 nights later, I saw her, not at home, not at the cafe, at the old bridge where we once walked together. She stood beneath the dim lamp, her dress rippling in the cold wind. When she turned, her eyes met mine. No warmth, no smile. You're not Daniel, she said. The words froze me. Elena, don't, she cut in. Don't speak lies where the truth already lives. My mouth trembled. I wanted to tell you. I tried. You didn't, she snapped. Her voice shook, but her eyes were steel. You looked me in the eyes, heard me call another man's name, and said yes. You let me thank you. You let me trust you. I had no choice. I said, my family, your family. Her laugh was sharp, bitter. What about mine? What about me? The bridge groaned under the weight of silence. I stepped closer. I never wanted to hurt you. You already did, she whispered. I reached out, but she pulled back. Don't touch me, she said. You don't get to anymore. Tears blurred my vision. Please, Elena, it's not my name you should be saying, she said coldly. It's his, your brother's. You stole his place. You stole my vow. You stole my life. Her words left no air in my lungs. I wanted to explain, to beg, but the truth was bare between us. She turned away. Goodbye. Wait, my voice broke. Where will you go? Anywhere you aren't. Her footsteps faded into the dark. I stood frozen, my heart pounding against the silence she left behind. Amir's words echoed. The day always comes. It had come, and I was all ready to. Late. Chapter 4. Rebirth in shadows. They told me she was gone. A carriage accident, they said. A single night of rain. A broken wheel. And Elena was no more. Her family wept. My mother whispered, better this way. No one will know what you did. But I knew. Every night, I sat on the balcony, staring at the empty chair where she used to sit. Her laughter echoed in my ears until silence grew louder than sound. Amir came once. He found me with a bottle and hollow eyes. You should let her rest, he said. How can I whispered, when she died carrying my lie. You didn't kill her, didn't I? I snapped. If I hadn't signed, if I hadn't lied, maybe she'd be alive. Maybe she'd still smile. Amir said nothing. Sometimes silence is sharper than truth. Months passed. Guilt became my shadow. I stopped looking in mirrors. I stopped answering my brother's calls. I stopped living. Then one night, everything broke. I was walking home when I felt it eyes on me, heavy, unblinking. I turned. A figure stood beneath the lamppost, the veil, the eyes The breath I thought I'd never hear again. Elena. Alive. I stumbled back. No, it can't be. She stepped forward, her heels striking like a clock counting down. The light carved her face sharper, colder. She wasn't the Elena I remembered. Something in her had changed. Elena. My voice cracked. She tilted her head. You look like you've seen a ghost. My chest caved. They said you died, she finished, a cruel smile flickering. Yes, let them believe it. The dead are freer than the living. I swallowed hard. How are you here? Her eyes burned. Rebirth. Pain is a kind of fire. And I walked through it. I came out different. I couldn't breathe. Why didn't you tell me? Tell you? Her laugh was soft and sharp at once. You. Who stole my vow? You. Who wore your brother's name like a mask? Why would I tell you anything? Elena, please, she cut me off. Don't say my name. Not with that mouth. Her words struck deeper than any blade. I staggered. I thought you were gone. I buried you in my guilt 100 times. And still, she said, you live as if nothing burned. Nothing burned. I hissed. Everything burned. I lost myself the day I lied. Her eyes narrowed. Good. You should lose more. The silence that followed was heavy. The streets seemed to shrink, leaving only us. What do you want from me? I asked. Her voice was low, deliberate. Not forgiveness, not love. I want you to see what I've seen, to feel what I've felt, to choke on every lie you fed me. I shivered. You've changed. I had to, she said. The girl who smiled at you died on that bridge. What stands here now is her shadow. She turned to leave, but stopped. I'll see you again. My throat tightened. When it hurts the most. And then she was gone, swallowed by the night like smoke. I stood frozen, heart pounding, guilt roaring louder than the city itself. She had returned, not as a memory, not as forgiveness, but as a reckoning. And I knew, deep down, that this was only the beginning. Chapter 5. The hunter becomes the hunted. He couldn't escape her. Everywhere I went, I felt her eyes. Not the warm ones that once trusted me, no. These eyes were sharp, unblinking, waiting for me to stumble. At first, it was small, a voice in the crowd, a shadow in the corner. Once, at the market, I heard her laugh low, bitter, and when I turned, she was gone. Then came the first message. A note slipped under my door. How does it feel to live with someone else's name? My chest tightened. I tore it up, but the words lived in me like poison. That night, Amir came over. You're pale, he said, still dreaming of her. She's not a dream, I whispered. She is alive. He froze. That's impossible. I saw her. She spoke to me. He rubbed his face. Maybe grief. Don't, I snapped. Don't tell me I imagined her. Amir sighed. Then what does she want? I stared at the floor. Revenge. The second message came a week later, pinned to my door with a knife. You lied to me once. Lied to me again. The night. I heard footsteps outside my window. I yanked the curtain aside, and there she was standing on the street, staring up at me, veil glowing in the moonlight. She didn't move, didn't blink, just stood there until dawn. I didn't sleep. The next day, Daniel called. His voice was bright. Brother, how's the family? How's Elena? I gripped the phone. Don't say her name. Why not? He laughed. She's your wife, isn't she? My jaw tightened. She's not mine. She never was. He paused. You sound strange. Is something wrong? Everything, I said, and hung up. That evening, she came. Not a shadow this time, Elena herself. She stood in my doorway. No knock, no greeting. Just those eyes. Elena. I breathed. She stepped inside without asking. Still pretending you deserve this house. This life. I never deserved any of it. Good, she said coldly. At least you know. I swallowed. What do you want from me? Her lips curved into a cruel smile. I want you to feel hunted. To wake up every day wondering when it ends. Ends. I whispered. She leaned close. Your peace. Your pride, your lies. Her words burned in my ear. I wanted to reach out, to beg, but her stare froze me. Suddenly, another voice cut in. Enough. A man stepped through the door, tall, broad-shouldered, eyes like steel. He moved to her side, protective, certain. Elena, he said, you shouldn't waste too many words on him. Marcus, she said softly. I want him to hear. Marcus, the name hit me like a stone. Who is he? I demanded. Her smile was icy. The man who stood by me when you ruined me. I stared at Marcus. And what are you to her? He smirked. Everything you weren't. My fist tightened. What are you planning? Marcus stepped forward, his shadow falling over me. Planning. Nothing. It's already begun. Elena touched his arm. Not yet. They turned to leave. I shouted after them. Elena, wait. She glanced back. Her eyes burned with fire. You wanted a vow. You'll get one. But not of love. Of ruin. The door slammed. I collapsed into the chair, my chest heaving. My world was unraveling thread by thread, and she was holding the scissors. Amir arrived later. What happened? She came. I said, my voice shook. And she's not alone. She has him. Who? Marcus. Her shadow. Her weapon. Amir exhaled. Then you're finished. Not yet, I said. Though I didn't believe it, she wants me to suffer first. And that was the worst part. Because she knew exactly how. Chapter 6. Lies unraveled. Didn't take long. Elena didn't come quietly anymore. She came like thunder. The first blow landed at a family dinner. My mother had gathered everyone. My father weak in his chair. Daniel home for once. Amir at my side. We ate in tense silence until the door opened. Elena walked in. My fork froze. Midair. My mother gasped. Daniel smiled, clueless. Elena, you're alive. She ignored him. Her eyes locked on me. Shall I tell them? Or will you? My chest caved. Don't. What's happening? Daniel asked. Elena's voice sliced through the room. Ask your brother who signed your name on my marriage papers. The room erupted. My mother cried out. What is she saying? My father coughed, his breath ragged. Daniel stood. What does she mean? My name. I couldn't answer. My silence was enough. Elena stepped closer, her smile sharp as glass. He wore your name. He wore your life. And he gave me vows that weren't his to give. Daniel's face drained of color. Tell me it's a lie. I whispered. I had no choice. No choice. Daniel roared. You stole everything from me. My mother clutched her chest. How could you? My father's weak voice trembled. You shamed us all. Elena folded her arms, watching me burn. Marcus leaned in the doorway, smirking. Amir tried to speak. He did it for the family. Silence. Daniel snapped. His eyes cut into me. For the family? Or for yourself? I swallowed hard. For survival. For father's medicine. For mother's peace. Because you were never here. Daniel's fist slammed the table. So you thought you could be me. I thought I could. Save us. I whispered. You destroyed us. He spat. Elena's voice was calm, deadly. Now you see him for what he is. My mother wept openly. My father turned his face away. Daniel shook his head, as if disowning me without words. I wanted to scream that I hadn't meant for it to go this far, that every step had been for them. But looking at their eyes, I realized the truth. No reason mattered. The betrayal had already spoken louder than anything I could say. Elena leaned down to my ear. Only I could hear her. This is only the beginning. You'll watch them all turn against you, one by one. Her words seared into my skull. When she and Marcus finally left, the house felt colder than the grave. Daniel stood over me. You're not my brother, he said. Not anymore. My father closed his eyes. Leave. And just like that, the family I'd broken my soul to save cast me out. I stumbled into the night. Amir following. We'll fix this, he said, desperately. But I knew. Some lies don't unravel, they choke you until you can't breathe. Chapter 7. her revenge. My punishment, Helena didn't stop at tearing my family from me. That was only her opening strike. The next weeks became a nightmare. Every door I opened, every street I crossed, there she was, if not in person, then. In whispers, in glances, in the way people looked at me like I was dirt. It began with my work. The landlord called me in. "You forged documents," he said flatly. "What?" I stammered. "Your name doesn't match the records." Someone brought me proof. He slid a folder across the table. Inside were the very papers I'd signed, highlighted in red. I froze. Elena's doing. Who else? By evening, I was out. No home, no bed, just the streets and the clothes on my back. Amir found me sitting on the curb. "She's destroying you piece by piece," he muttered. I laughed, bitterly. "Good. That's what I deserve." "Stop saying that," he snapped. "If you give her everything, she'll never stop. Fight back." "How?" I asked. "With what? Lies. I've already run out." The next blow landed at the cafe, a place we once sat together, laughing. Now, when I walked in, every head turned, conversations hushed. Then someone spat on the ground near my shoes. "Thief." A man muttered. "Coward." Another hissed. I turned in. There she was, Elena, seated with Marcus, calm and regal, as if she owned the room. She raised her glass at me, smiling, too. "Truth," she said aloud. The cafe roared with laughter at my expense. I staggered outside. My chest was tight, my vision blurred. Rage and shame wrestled inside me. Later that night, Marcus found me in an alley. He leaned against the wall, arms folded. "You're weaker than I thought," he said. "Go to hell." I spat. He smirked. "Already there." Elena dragged me out. "She'll drag you in." "Why are you helping her?" I demanded. "Because she deserves more than your brother's ghost," he said coldly. "She deserves revenge." He stepped closer until his breath brushed my face. "And I enjoy watching you drown." He left me shaking, fists clenched, powerless. The next day, I returned to my parents' house, desperate for any scrap of forgiveness. My mother opened the door, eyes swollen from crying. "Please," I begged. "Let me in." "No," she whispered. "Your father won't see you. Daniel won't speak your name. You're not welcome here." The door closed. I pressed my forehead against the wood, whispering, "I did it for you." But the house was silent. Nights blurred into days. Hunger gnawed at me. Sleep brought Elena's voice whispering, "You lied. You lied." Finally, I broke. I went to her. She was waiting, of course, dressed in white, like the day I first signed her life away. Marcus stood beside her, silent, smug. "Elena," I said. My voice cracked. "Enough. You've taken everything." "What more do you want?" She stepped closer, her perfume sharp as fire. "I want you empty. I want you stripped until nothing remains but the lie you began with." I dropped to my knees. "Then kill me." Her eyes glittered. "No. Death would free you. Living is the punishment." Marcus chuckled. "Poetic, isn't it?" I looked up at her. "Do you hate me that much?" Her lips trembled, but her eyes stayed cold. "Hate? Hate would mean you still mattered to me." "This is justice. Justice," I repeated, broken. "Or cruelty." "Both," she said softly. "And you'll taste every drop." I bowed my head. The world around me crumbled, and she stood above it all, triumphant, for the first time. I understood. She hadn't come back for love, or even closure. She came back to build her rebirth on the ashes of my ruin, and I was already nothing but ashes. Chapter 8. The choice between forgiveness and revenge. I couldn't take it anymore. Everywhere I went, Elena's shadow followed. Every whisper, every stare, every humiliation. She had orchestrated all of it. I was already broken. But she wanted me shattered. So I found her. She was at the old bridge again, the place where she once unmasked me. Moonlight painted her face pale and sharp. Marcus stood a few paces away, silent as stone. "Elena," I said, my voice hoarse. "I can't keep living like this." She didn't turn. "Then don't." I stepped closer. You've won. You've taken everything. My family, my name, my home. There's nothing left. Finally, she looked at me. Her eyes were calm, unreadable. Good. Now you understand. I swallowed hard. But tell me this, are you satisfied? Does my ruin fix what I did? Her silence was heavier than any answer. Say it, I begged. Say you hate me. Say you want me dead. Anything. She tilted her head. What do you want from me? Forgiveness? The word hit like lightning. Yes, I whispered. No, I don't know. Why should I forgive? She asked. You stole my vow. You wore your brother's name like a crown while I gave my heart to a lie. I know, I said. My knees weakened. I know what I did. And every night I curse myself. But Elena, my voice cracked. I was drowning. My father was dying. My family was falling apart. I thought if I just signed, I could hold everything together. Her jaw tightened. And you destroyed me in the process. Tears burned my eyes. I destroyed myself, too. You think I've lived since then? No, I've just been breathing. She took a step forward. Do you regret it with every breath? I said. The air between us trembled. Marcus shifted behind her, but she raised her hand. Stay back. Her eyes bored into mine. If I forgave you, what would you do? I froze. The question pierced deeper than any accusation. I don't know. I admitted. Maybe I'd finally breathe. Maybe I'd find a way to live again. Her lips trembled, just slightly. For the first time since her return, I saw the faintest flicker of the woman who once smiled at me in sunlight. But it was gone as quickly as it appeared. She stepped back. I can't, she said. The words broke me more than her revenge ever had. Elena, no, she said firmly. You don't deserve my forgiveness. You never will. I lowered my head. Then what do I do? She studied me, her voice cold again. You live. You carry this weight. You choke on it every day. That's your punishment. My chest caved. And you? What will you do? She turned toward the river, her veil swaying in the wind. I will live, too. But not as the girl you deceived. She died long ago. What stands here now is reborn, and she has no place for you. Her words cut clean. I whispered, so this is the end. She glanced at me once more. Her eyes softened for the briefest moment, then hardened again. Yes, she walked away. Marcus following. I stood alone on the bridge, the night colder than ever. And for the first time, I realized this wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about what remained of me when forgiveness was gone. Chapter 9. Closure. And Ash's bridge never left me. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her walking away, veil in the wind, Marcus at her side, forgiveness dangling just out of reach. I thought maybe she'd come again, that she'd appear at my door, ready to strike, ready to tear me down once more. But she didn't. She didn't need to. Her silence was sharper than her words had ever been. Days blurred into nights. I walked the streets like a ghost. People whispered. Still the liar, the thief, the brother who wore another man's name. But I didn't care anymore. Their voices were echoes of hers, and hers was the only one that mattered. Amir found me sitting outside the closed cafe one night. You're fading, he said quietly. I already faded, I replied, the moment I signed those papers. He crouched beside me. You still have a choice. I laughed bitterly. What choice? To keep rotting, he said, or to rebuild. I shook my head. There's nothing left to build with. She took it all. He put a hand on my shoulder. She didn't take it. You gave it. His words stung because they were true. Later that week, Daniel came. He stood at the end of the alley where I slept. His face was tired, older somehow. I should hate you forever, he said. You already do. I muttered, maybe. He admitted. But I saw her, Elena. She's not the same. And you neither are you? I looked up. What do you want from me? Nothing, he said. Just to tell you you're not my brother anymore. But you're not my enemy either. Not worth the effort. He left me there, stripped of even his hatred. One by one, everyone drifted away, family, friends, even enemies, until all that remained was me, the lie, and the ashes of what used to be a life. On the last night, I returned to the bridge, the same spot where truth and ruin had first met. The air was still, the river dark. I whispered into the silence, "Elena." No answer, only the water below. I closed my eyes. "I loved you," I admitted at last. "Not in the way you deserved, not in the way you needed. But I did, and that love destroyed us both." The wind carried my words away. I thought I saw her, then just for a second, a figure in white at the far end of the bridge, veil drifting, watching, listening. But when I blinked, she was gone. Maybe it was only memory. Maybe it was her shadow. Or maybe she really had come, one last time, to see me break. Either way, I understood. She didn't need revenge anymore. She didn't need forgiveness, either. She had left me with something far heavier: guilt, endless and inescapable. And that was enough. I gripped the railing, staring into the river. The city hummed behind me, alive with voices I no longer belonged to. "I'll live," I whispered, "because that's what you wanted. Because dying would be mercy." The words tasted like blood, but they were true. I turned from the river and walked back into the night, a shadow among shadows. I carried nothing with me: no name, no love, no future. Only ashes. Only silence. Only her.